Episode 39, submitted by Hal, Green Bay, Wisconsin. 52. Read exactly as submitted. I ate lunch under that calendar for 11 years without ever once really looking at it. It hung in our break room on the second floor, on a nail beside the microwave. Not a month at a time calendar. One of those laminated year-at-a-glance sheets, all 12 months in columns, about the size of a card table, with the phone number of a heating and cooling company printed across the bottom in red. A new one came in the mail every December and went up on the same nail. Somebody wrote the birthdays on it in marker, a name in the corner of a square, and when your square came up, you got a grocery store sheet cake at 2:30 and a card that had been going around in an interoffice envelope all week with everybody's handwriting crammed in around the edges, that somebody was Perry. He sat on the other side of the half wall from me, accounts payable, and he had been keeping the calendar since before I was hired. He bought the cakes on his own card. He printed in small capitals, the way a man does who has filled out forms his whole working life. My name was in the square for March 9th. My birthday is October 24th. I did say something. Once. My first spring there, I stood in front of the calendar with him and told him mine was actually in the fall. And he looked at it a second and said, "Huh," and I said, "No big deal." That is the entire record of me pushing back. 11 years. One, huh? Because then March came around again, and there was the cake, and 40 people came in on their break and sang at me, and you cannot stand there holding a paper plate and tell 40 people they have the wrong day. You especially cannot do it the second year, when it has become a thing everyone knows about you. I was a March. Guys from claims would say, "Happy early one" in the parking lot in February. My wife thought it was the funniest thing about my job, that I had a birthday at home and a separate birthday at work, and, honestly, the work one came with a better lunch. We got bought in the fall. Perry took the package and retired in October, and in January the rest of us moved across town into one floor of a building off the interstate. Because my desk was closest, I was the one who packed the break room, and I put my hand on the calendar and lifted it off the nail, and there were more behind it. 11 of them. Nobody had ever taken the old one down. Every December he had just hung the new sheet on top, same nail, same corner hole, so they had stacked up against the wall like the layers of a paint job. I carried the whole pile to the table and went through them, because everything else was already in boxes. Every year, March 9th, my name in those small capitals. That was not the part. The bottom two sheets were from before me. I started there in April. 2 of those calendars went up on that wall while I was still out at the plant in Des Peres, and had never heard of the company, and on both of them, the 9th of March has my name in the corner of the square in Perry's printing. And most of the other squares have names of people I never met. March 9th is the day my father died. I was 9. We were not a family that marked it. Nobody called. There was no dinner. We did not say it out loud. And I never told a soul in that building, because it is not a thing you bring up in accounts payable. I have Perry's cell number off the card we signed for him. I have gotten as far as it ringing twice. The new office runs everything through a shared calendar. It pulled the real dates out of the system, so mine says October, and it emails you the morning of, and nobody bakes anything. Every place I have ever worked has had one person who keeps that list. In 26 years, I have never heard anybody ask where they got the dates. You sign the card, you take a plate, you go back to your desk.